right, welcome back to episode 76 of the Hops and Bops podcast. I am producer Tom.
I'm Joe.
I'm Mike.
And in today's episode, we are doing Cowboys from Hell from Pantera. And to pair with that, we have 𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙗𝙚𝙗𝙗 from 21st Amendment Brewery. I believe they're out of California, right? Or where are they out of?
Great question, Tom. You ask a lot of great questions.
San Leandro, California.
A whale's vagina?
San Leandro.
San Diego.
I believe Mike's the only one that has this. Because neither Joe nor I could find it. I think it's seasonal, and I called up a couple places. They said they stopped making it around December. I think it's an August to December thing.
Yes, it is. August to December.
So instead of that, I ended up getting I have it here. The hop variety pack, which I thought was in it. Turns out it's
because it was
not.
Orange.
Look at it. It looks kind of like it, but
He's like a little kid. He sees color, just like a quick thing. That's it. That's the one.
I bought this. So instead of that, I'm gonna have a little taste test of all of them in there.
There you go.
It's basically just a little flight.
I'm taking this episode off drinking wise. I have mango juice though.
That's right. Yeah, at least you're partaking in the mango.
Yeah,
I have a bit of the brewery. It's a combined thing, with the.
Yeah. Well, Mike drank coffee last episode. I don't drink coffee, so.
That's fair.
There's that.
All right, so I guess Mike we'll start with the actual drink. I'll crack the orange one.
So this is.
Tell us a bit about this.
By 21st Amendment Brew.
Never heard of them before this.
Hell no. So I only purchased it because we were doing the album Cowboys from Hell, and I am notorious for picking beers that have no connection whatsoever to the album. And I saw the word hell in the 𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙤𝙗𝙗𝙗, and that was about the extent of my effort into making it match what we were doing. I actually was trying to look for something like Lone Star, which is like basically the Bud Light of Texas.
Yes.
But I figured that would be extremely difficult to find in this area. I'm not even sure if they distribute up here.
Interesting.
I looked around, I couldn't really see it. Then I was going to get something from Southern Tier. Figured go with the Southern, connect. See, I put some effort into this one. But they only had the Southern Tier double IPA. And I was kind of like, we've done so many IPAs and double IPAs. And when I think of Southern Tier, I usually think of their pumpkin one, which is like 9% pumpkin. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. So then I actually had the Southern Tier though in my hand. And then I saw this one and I saw that it was labeled Hell or High Mango. And I said, you know what? We're going to go with this. I don't know if we've had anything mango.
We did.
Maybe a seltzer?
Yeah, we did a Tribus light sour.
That's what it was.
Mango.
Oh,
fizz.
Yes. The fizz.
Yeah. So this is a I don't even know. It just says beer brewed with mango, seasonal. I don't know if it's a seasonal ale, seasonal release. Beer brewed with mango. Doesn't really say the style. It's only 4.9%. It's made with 2-row pale and white wheat malts. Magnum hops.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, it's another reason.
Yeah.
Magnum.
Had to compare. And then special ingredients, real mangoes.
They
Not
just
fake
floating in
mangoes.
there?
Real mangoes.
I'm really bummed I couldn't find this beer because I actually do like mango. But
You're a mango guy.
I am a mango guy.
17 IBUs, so it's not really high on the hops or bitterness scale. You definitely taste the mango. It pairs really well with fresh shucked oysters, which I couldn't get my hands on this early in the morning. Veggie or fruit salad.
Oh,
Seafood and sunny summer days.
Oh, perfect timing. It's February 21st.
This is my third time having it. It smells like fruit juice.
Mhm.
Like it has a very heavy mango fruit juice smell. It's
you're gonna save me one, right, Mike?
Yes, I have 2 of them saved, one for each of you.
Sweet.
Mine is it's not as fruity. This is the Brew Free or Die IPA.
Okay.
7%, 70 IBUs. So a
Ooh,
little
that's
bit
better.
more. Yeah, a little bit more better.
Biggest thing with this is honestly, this is my 3rd one I've had. I tried it the day I got it, and then I drank one yesterday morning. It does really work well as a morning beer because it tastes like fruit juice. It like if you could imagine carbonated mango juice, that's what it is.
All right, fair enough.
There's really, in my opinion, there's almost 0 beer flavor to it.
Interesting.
Like if you told me this was more of a seltzer or something like that, then I don't know. I'm almost struggling. It's kind of bothering me that it's labeled a beer and has no beer flavor, like where it could have been labeled like a seltzer. And I think I would have been more apt to being like, all right, this isn't bad, because I'd expect just that mango and carbonation.
Right.
But instead I'm tasting mango and carbonation and being told to beer. It just feels like a lie to me.
So I'm on Beer Advocate, and they list it as a wheat beer American ale.
It makes sense because it's got the white wheat.
Yeah. So I'm obviously I don't have it, but it's coming off kind of like a Blue Moon style.
I will say it's better than that. I'm not a
Okay.
Blue Moon fan, so.
Okay.
All right.
I'm not a Blue Moon fan. But you know, let's put it this way: it's not bad. It just feels like it's being faked to me.
So I'm doing like a mini taste test over here.
I got to think about this one for a little bit.
It sounds delicious though. I do love me some mango fruitier beers.
Yeah, exactly. It's not. Listen, it's not bad at all. I mean, it's very drinkable. You could probably drink a 24 pack of them because it doesn't taste like you're drinking beer.
Is it comparable to a Natter Days? Is my question, because that's another kind of fruitier beer.
Yeah, Natter Day's got a little bit more, I think, beer flavor to it.
Oh, okay.
'Cause you can tell you're drinking a beer when you're drinking a Natter.
Yeah.
This might be maybe better quality of ingredients.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a
You know?
it's a natty light as a base drink, so I get that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a little better quality of ingredients, and you can taste that. It's just strange. It's strange that it doesn't really taste very beer-ish.
Okay.
It's like drinking juice. So I'm a little indifferent.
Okay.
So, got my regular IPA. I should say what else I have. I have the Brew Free or Die Tropical IPA.
Ooh.
I've got the Down to Earth Session IPA with like a little space monkey on there. Kind of neat. And then I have I think it's just blah 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 double IPA with like the people protesting. I think that is the prohibition. So I think they're all like somehow related to like stuff that's happened in U.S. history, because Brew Free or Die obviously is like Abraham Lincoln. He's got all this stuff on there, and like sending chimps to space, and then prohibition. It's all kind of interesting the way they tie in their stuff.
Yeah. Well, 21st Amendment. You know, when you call yourselves that, it sounds like they have a very not political, but kind of like historical angle, which is cool.
I would say straight away, I really did enjoy the double and their baseline one. I was not a big fan of the tropical IPA, and the session was pretty average. So, but I mean, it's the least one was only 4.4%. But I'm really interested to try that mango one though. That one sounds good.
I have one saved for both of you.
Yeah,
sweet.
Whenever we get over there, we got to do that.
Nice. Well, let's move to Pantera. Yes.
Metal.
By far one of, if not my favorite metal bands. I have loved Pantera. Unfortunately, I was about 14 when Dimebag was shot and killed, and now Vinnie Paul, within the last year and a half, passed away of a heart attack, I believe, and never got a chance to see these guys. These might be one of the bands I would say, like, if you had a chance to see, this would be them. I think I brought that up in the car ride last weekend.
Yeah, we talked about different overrated bands we'd see, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was my bands we'd see if if somebody who doesn't exist anymore, is not around. But this was not their debut album, as many people don't realize. This is actually their 5th studio album. Prior to that, they had Metal Magic was their actual original debut album. It was more glam and like hair metal. And it was with the same core band of Vinnie Paul, Dimebag, and Rex Brown. He was considered Rex Rocker at the time. But they had a lead vocalist called 𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙝𝙤.
Yeah.
Can we call our Terry that?
𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙝. It fits well with Big Shug.
Big Sugar Glaze.
So anyway, he was the singer for the first 3 studio albums, which was 83, 85, and 86, I think. And I kind of was like confused because they had their own label. The label is called Metal Magic, but at the time they were like 16 and 19, meaning Dimebag and Vinnie Paul, because they were the core of the band. Come to find out, their father is Jerry Abbott, who is a country music songwriter and record producer. So he produced everything for them. He basically put this together, and he produced these first 3 albums, which were very like Kiss, Van Halen heavy, kind of glam metal. Not really taken well. Then they switched over to what was called power metal, which was their 4th album. That was the first album with Phil, their the lead singer that went the rest of the way with them. Was still more on the glam metal, thrash metal, but not quite the Pantera you know from the album we're about to listen to. So they replaced 𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙝 with Phil Anselmo, and this was still not a great album. People didn't really like it. It was still being produced also by the father. But it was the start of what was to become the actual Pantera. So pretty interesting that all of this stuff happened so much before this album came out. I mean, producing music at 16 and 19, respectively, from, their first real big break being in 1990. It's a long time. But, it's just interesting to look at. And I mean, you look at the cover of Metal Magic, I mean, they have Jesus Christ. They look like fucking Steel Panther.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like someone drew it too, like hand drawn.
Yeah, they got the hair. I mean,
it's going right up on the fridge.
Jesus Christ. Dimebag looks like a store brand Slash. Like, this is just oof.
For some reason, just Pantera always escaped me. I always knew who they were. I know we say it a lot just because it's how I was growing up, but the only song I was really introduced to is off of Guitar Hero 1. Cowboys from Hell was the second to last song, right behind Bark of the Moon by Ozzy.
Okay.
And so I love that song. That song is a fantastic song, but that was the only ever Pantera song I really was exposed to. And so listening to this album was definitely an interesting experience, kind of seeing how they shape their sound around that. So cool experience for me, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. I was just going to say that you can tell too, by the time this album came around, obviously the fact that you have Dimebag and Vinnie Paul, who were brothers. So they had been playing together forever, but Rex Brown, or in this case, Rex Rocker, was their
Rex
bassist.
Glaze.
Yeah, exactly. Was the bassist from the beginning. They're just unbelievably tight, because they change up some of their grooves. They're not always on time. A lot of that just offbeat kind of stuff that they do, and they are just in sync all the time. So it's just goes to show that the band that they were.
Yeah. Real quick, what's Pantera mean?
I did a little bit of research on that, and what I've found is a couple of things. Number one, they're originally from Pantego, I don't know, Texas, Pantego.
Lego my Pantego.
And they switched it to Pantera. Pantera also means panther in Spanish.
Cool.
And then the other thing I found was that is the name of an Italian race car, the Tommaso Pantera.
Tomas.
That's my car. I own that.
Tommy Panther.
And it was suggested to Vinny by his classmate in high school. And after researching the name, he also found out it meant panther in Spanish. And I guess it was cooler than some of the names Gemini or Eternity that they had begun using, which Gemini and Eternity makes so much sense if you're going to be a 80s hair metal band.
Yes, that makes total sense.
But I guess they swapped over to Pantera, hence why, and that makes sense because if you think about it, that's the logo on the first album is a very poorly drawn, like muscular panther. So, I mean, I guess that idea that it swaps over to panther in Spanish, man, we're cultured. Yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Cool. All right. Good. The more you know. Had a feeling it was panther related. Very, yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, so first song, title track, first single. Absolutely fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
just
this is their song. Yeah.
I think the only other song you can level with this is Walk.
When
it comes to popularity.
Yeah, and that's on the next album.
Yes,
yeah.
Vulgar Display of Power, which
You were torn.
I was torn.
Yeah,
I was torn, but this is just their first album.
Right. Well, we could always do another one down the road.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this is a great song. I mean, it's a perfect song for them. It's a defining song for sure. Great guitar riff. The tone Dimebag gets is just so crunchy. Like it is it the gain? Did he just jack the gain like all the way up? Like is that gain?
I don't even know. He was
I don't think so.
No, he's an absolute
before. I don't know. Yeah.
Solos. Oh.
Yeah. And you got Vinnie Paul playing. His toms were always notoriously like horizontal.
Everything was snakeskin.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen him live?
Yeah. Not in person, but I've seen him
I've seen him in person twice, I think, with Hell Yeah.
Yeah.
And his toms are like the size of floor tops.
Yeah.
You can hear it. They're huge. Yeah. And he just sat back there and he was just like it was effortless.
Yeah.
Unreal. And he's just so like big when he plays.
Yeah. I always liked that little offbeat hi-hat pattern he played during the guitar solo.
Yeah.
When you say they're sometimes classified as groove metal, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I always thought that was a funny riff that like a metal band would use. Like you don't often hear that. It's kind of like a dancey kind of funky thing. Disco.
He was the type of drummer that, you get a lot of metal drummers that just ride the double bass.
Yeah.
And he does it when necessary.
Yeah.
And he does it so well. Like there's songs that are just, but it's because it needs that. Versus some of these, we'll hear it on the next song when you get to that. But we talked yesterday about top couple of opening tracks of all time on albums. Yeah, I couldn't commit that Bomb Track was the best, and this is one of the reasons I can't commit to Bomb Track being the best, because this right here has to be one of the best openers.
That is funny how he picked two albums back to back that have just probably some of the best openers of all time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I'm actually surprised this opened the album. I thought The next track, Primal Concrete Sledge, would have lent better as a opening track. I don't know, with that heavy double bass
Yeah.
intro. And then maybe Cowboys from Hell #2. But
I think it's just you're coming in with that guitar riff.
Yeah.
You're just like, by the way, this is Pantera.
This is right, true.
Where this Primal Concrete Sledge, which is a great opening with the double bass, doesn't immediately give you like Pantera.
Right. Makes sense.
And I love how he comes in with his vocals on this song, and it's like almost like rap metal, but like not quite. And then they got that little chant chorus.
Yep.
And then pretty standard through the song, but there's no downtime. There's no downtime.
And there's no snare drum. He's not playing like a groove.
No.
During the verse, it's that double bass pattern, but with toms.
Yeah.
The snare doesn't even come in until that breakdown around the like 110 mark.
And I love that breakdown.
Yeah.
It just throws the song to a completely different area.
Yep.
And this is really the first musical break. It's been just like lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quick song, you're in and out. I mean, it's
2:13
minutes.
Yeah.
And then he starts at
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
dude.
where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Great. Like, you ever see the TikToks that are try not to headbang or whatever?
Yeah.
And it always opens up with what, Macbeth or whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, you put this album on, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of plays into the groove metal aspects of it too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's definitely keeps you in that groove.
Yeah. Definitely, even though it came out in 1990, it has that lingering 80s metal sound.
Mhm.
Like it's very echoey.
Yeah.
Very big sounding, like you're kind of playing in like a big echoey room. That was a very 80s thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like for the next song, Psycho Holiday, that like shuffle groove reminds me of like Poison but heavy metal.
Yes.
Like they were kind of like a transition band almost into that grungier, dirtier metal.
And then you threw in the Southern aspect.
Yeah, right.
Which gave them their thing.
Yep.
This was the first song to open with like a standard just guitar chord like riff.
Yeah.
You in these first three songs, you've gotten a little bit of almost everything.
Yeah.
And they're just so tight with when they play.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got that chorus, "In Time Alone."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's actually singing, and you can hear his like legitimate singing voice, and it's great.
Yeah,
this is the first.
Really good voice.
Yeah, this is the first track that seemed like you could tell like what sound era it was coming from. Like that chorus that they sing along to does sound pretty like late 80s, early 90s. But I think that's also a testament as to like how timeless the rest of this album pretty much is. Like they kind of crafted those first couple just to, it still sounds pretty fresh today. So,
and this was their second or last single off the album, their third single.
Yeah, Cemetery
Gates. So weird
Gates.
to think that any of these are singles.
Yeah, right. Cemetery Gates, man. Oh, all right. Anyway, yeah.
So now they're just great songs.
Yeah.
Dun, but just another good groove, gives you another feel because it's like a different type of song already within the first three. And then going to Heresy. I love that Heresy.
Yeah.
I like that little like pinch harmonic kind of groove that's coming in. And then it just comes in.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. This one sounds a bit more thrasher.
Yeah. This is like early Metallica.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
There's a lot of early Metallica on this.
Like Seek and Destroy, Kill 'Em All.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple songs towards the end of the album too where I got that.
Yeah.
Then
song, I mean, not one of the more, one of the more forgettable songs on the album, when it comes to what's going on, but I mean, it is a good song. I like it. Fits right in. You know, the album is yet to let up. I love the line, "So you can lick my sack." That's great. Everything just stops and he yells, "So you can lick my sack," and then you come back in. But you know, another heavy song to lead into their big like epic that is Cemetery Gates.
When this song opens, you know, having listened to it with the rest of the album, this is like that down break, and this intro is like an 80s ballad, you know, the clean guitar, very melodic, he's singing, but it's still Pantera, like it's not corny.
It's, again, when you get these bands that, like we said, what was the song yesterday, like the third or fourth track on Rage on the last episode, set free or whatever the hell that's the one was. It was that kind of ballady one. It was a little slower, and it just
Settle for Nothing.
For Nothing. And it just wasn't. It had to be there, but it didn't work.
Right.
Like this is just the perfect time, the perfect song, the perfect groove. You get that first guitar solo. It's just. This might be as close to perfect as you get. Like this whole thing, it's just great.
Great song.
I don't know. We're just gonna sit here for the next 6 minutes in silence and enjoy
it. Yeah. Damn you, copyright.
But then when it comes in, dun, 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 dun.
That riff, the main riff.
And then it comes back into the slow again.
Yeah.
And man, his voice sounds almost like a killer, like Scorpions kind of, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But so much better.
Yeah.
And then that then they come in with that groove once again, just kind of rocking with it.
Yeah. Tom, I feel like Mike and I have been hogging the.
No, listen, I don't have as much of like an emotional attachment to this album. Just so I mean, I don't feel like I'm as crazy about this as you guys are. I enjoy it a lot. This song, it definitely is one of the shining points on the album for me. But I don't know if it had to be 7 minutes for me, at least. Like I understand it, but I don't know, maybe just from where I'm coming from, this does sound like it's still also kind of dated in a sense. But I mean, it was 1990, so of course it's supposed to. But I mean, yeah, all of the passages and then kind of the way this song kind of flows into one another, definitely. It was well crafted, and you can't knock the guitar work on this. Dimebag definitely does a fantastic job on this, especially at the solo around like 5 minutes or so. That one was great.
Yeah.
And I love how the solo transitions riffs.
Oh yeah.
Like they go from the different riffs and sections of the song, and the solo just keeps going. You know, it's not like they just played one. Oh, we're gonna play the chorus riff and you're soloing over it. No, we're playing the song the way it's supposed to flow, and you're gonna solo over that. And then it comes back in with that.
Yeah, I like that riff a lot.
And then, Tom, what's your take on the end vocals and the solo copy?
Oh yes, yeah,
they do like a little
fucking insane
thing. Yeah,
it's unreal, right?
No, that's literally insane. I don't know how the hell he hits that note.
That last note is unreal.
Taking his nuts and just twisting them up.
Are you sure that's not guitar? That last one,
and maybe the very last one.
The very last one is.
The very last one. Guitar,
But even the one before that, like that's Steven Tyler-ish, if you can even say he could hit it.
Yeah. I don't know how that's humanly possible.
And again, you got, and you go back to you know, Primal Concrete Sludge. It's just on, like, his range is stupid.
Yeah, we talk a lot about, you know, the other members, but definitely Phil is one of the more important players in this too. So
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just me being a singer and listening to that mainly.
He's unreal. He's very good.
Also, I think a part of it for me too is that when I listened to this album, it was mainly just working out, which I don't really do with other albums I try to listen to. So it was mainly more of just the feeling that it gave me.
Yeah. How much more weight did you lift?
I set a 1 rep max for bench yesterday.
There you go.
235.
235?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was listening to this. I think it was Primal Concrete Sludge, but still the rest of the album is just as killer. I don't know if I would listen to Cemetery Gates while working out. It does have a bit of like too much of a switch up for me, and I was a little bit.
That's your rest period.
It is, yes, yeah, exactly. And then it comes back in with Domination.
Too, where the more melodic parts can be the rest.
Exactly. So
the next song, though,
yeah, it was just a lot of feeling.
Yeah, one of the best songs on the album.
This song is just a punch in the fucking face the whole way through. And this is a great example, Domination, of him using double bass, like
I love that.
Like it grooves, you know, it's not overwhelming. Even the intro, the very beginning, he has that steady double bass pattern, but because the riff is like easy to listen to, it's not a lot to take in, you know?
Yes. And I like how at the end, right before the verses, the guitar does that dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
99% of bands would have the drummer follow that.
Yeah.
And they went, no, hold up. I'm going to cut out, you finish it, and then we'll come back in. And it just makes that fucking drum riff sound so much more powerful.
Yep, for sure.
And it's like you said, it's the pick me up that was necessary after Cemetery Gates. Cemetery Gates brought it down because you just had 4 straight songs of like, I punched you in the balls 4 times. Then you have 7 minutes of like, all right, let them heal. And then bam, right back.
Yeah. I also like how a lot of singers during this time had their like go-to like sound effect. Like you know, Axl Rose had his like squeal, and then David Lee Roth had his like ow, you know, like that. Yeah. Phil Labonte, or not Phil Labonte, Phil Anselmo. He had the like that. That was his thing.
a better version of Metallica's rock. And I love this guitar solo because it's just, again, it just sticks with the speed and blast and just bam.
Yep.
You know,
did he dub it? Did he like harmonize with himself? Sounds like it's layered.
Either that or it's an effect he has on it.
Might be that.
Because he was big with the whammy bar on his Deans. That's where he'd get the squeals from. It'd be a pinch harmonic and then the whammy bar.
Yeah.
It was unreal. And I love the end. Yes.
This breakdown. But then they move the guitar pattern like over a beat.
Can you imagine this live?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then Shattered.
Yeah.
Just not let it up.
No, another one.
I think that for me, it kind of is the same from when we did our last album, Rage. While yes, they are good songs, I think you kind of get their sound and what they're going for around the second half of the album. And that's not to say like they're bad, but it's just like, you know what they're going for.
Yeah. I do like that the intro riff, like this song maybe could have done without the double bass intro, but that like that's just such a sick riff. And then this is more of the 80s hair metal vocals.
Yeah. He gets up there during the verses like the entire time.
Yeah, he's
kind of reminds me of who's the guy from Iron Maiden?
Oh, Bruce Dickinson.
This has
that like, end note on the chorus.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I can't even.
You almost hit it.
Take it.
Put me in there.
Again, not a standout song, not a song that you're going to go running to, but keeps with the vibe, keeps everything going.
Yeah.
And then Clash with Reality.
Yes.
Just another good song. I mean, I will say the only downside from this point to the end, in my opinion, the only two downsides are every single song is 5 minutes, or 5+ minutes, except the last one.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, the last song was the one song that I kind of thought didn't need to be there. But, we'll get to that.
Yeah. I will agree with that, is that it does seem like, and maybe it was just for the era when it came out, like you could put out a song that, or an album of tracks that are all 5+ minutes in length, but at least in terms of from where I'm coming from, they all do sound pretty similar. And maybe that's just from a first time listener's perspective, but after like Domination or Shattered, there's really not a lot to say for me for the rest of the album. So
the Medicine Man, that like main riff at the beginning, that was another like Metallica sounding riff to me. They definitely played to the, you know, their inspirations and other bands of that time. But
I like Medicine Man. I like the opening starts off with just bass and drums, like something we haven't really heard yet.
Yeah.
You know, just getting that low end groove. We've got that rhythm, then the guitar just comes in slow.
But yeah, I agree. Like from here on out, I mean, you get it. I don't know if there's any like, you know, stand out like holy shit songs.
It's kind of funny. So when you look at Wikipedia, obviously, usually the singles are linked, and when you click on them, it gives you information about those songs. It's not every song, but of all songs, The Art of Shredding also is linked. So I clicked on it out of curiosity, and apparently Guitar World rated that the number 10, the 10th best Pantera song.
Really?
So, which was interesting to me, only because, you know, not that I didn't like the song, I just did. I guess The Sleep, I thought, ended the album well.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that came in and was almost out of place. Not that it was a bad song, but out of place, in my opinion. But getting back to Medicine Man, you know, it was a different vibe than the rest of the album. Having that low vocal, a lot of the floor tom work, something we haven't really heard yet. But then he comes in with these just like screaming fucking notes that he just hits. I don't know. I like Medicine Man. I wouldn't rank it as one of the best on the album, but you know, it was cool because it was a change up from what we had been listening to.
Right.
I love the Medicine Man.
Yeah.
I like the end.
Yeah, it's a good song. I just don't know what would propel it ahead of like others, you know.
No, agreed.
I do like that riff though. I really like that. That's groovy.
Yeah, I think if they worked some of these songs in earlier, in between Psycho Holiday, Heresy, Cemetery Gates, Domination, you know, if you took Psycho Holiday and Heresy and moved them and brought Clash of Reality and Medicine Man up or something like that, you know, and did a little bit of rearranging, I thought maybe the album would kind of have a better up and down. I mean, the first 6 songs are just unreal.
Yeah.
And then the back 6 are great fucking Pantera songs, but they're not standalone.
Right.
Message in Blood, great guitar riff, great drum playing, just really nothing special to say about it though. Like it doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Right.
You said you like To Sleep though, right?
Cool how it goes into that like bass and vocal, so it's a little bit more low key.
Yeah.
Interesting. Again, another change, which I think could have been cool if we heard it earlier.
Right.
And then you have The Sleep, which I thought was just like another cool chill song. Love that guitar riff.
Yeah.
He has that cool airy effect on his cleans.
Yes. Which is it's that 80s lingering, you know, arena kind of sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt like this was a great riff and a great song to end up.
Yeah.
You know, And then you also think about it, it's called The Sleep. Like just all of it kind of
just go to bed.
Felt like a good end to me.
Yeah. 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 And then you end with the art of shedding.
The art of shedding.
Well, the great intro.
Yeah.
I thought this song was pretty good. I enjoyed this one.
The bass and drums.
Yep.
Good intro. Yeah, I felt like this one should have been earlier in the album. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of how they laid the track list out. Like, I personally don't think Cowboys from Hell should have been the opener. But I do get it that it was that
shouldn't have.
Should not have. Gotcha. Yeah. But I get why they did it. But I don't think this one should have ended it.
No, I think honestly, the 1-2 punch of Cowboys from Hell, Primal Concrete, Sledge, I love that. I think that's one of the best 1-2 punches.
I would have preferred it flopped, but it's okay.
Agree to disagree. When in Rome.
Yeah. Art of shredding vocally is like James Hetfield.
What's that?
Art of shredding vocally during the verses is just like Metallica.
Yeah.
Well, even that riff.
Yeah.
There she is.
That do be the album.
Yeah.
Cowboys from Hell. What a ride.
From Hell.
Yeah.
Should we hop into some tracks?
Do tracks.
All right.
Mike.
So
Mike, start off.
Number 1 track for me is Cowboys from Hell. I just think I was in between that and Cemetery Gates.
Yes.
But the reason I went with it was only because I personally think it's one of the best opening tracks there is. It laid the groundwork for what was going to be this version of Pantera, not the earlier stuff. Like this made Pantera them. Title track, opening track, first single off the album. I mean, this literally did it all. And yeah, Cowboys from Hell is just fucking fantastic.
Tom, agreement?
I agree, Joe.
Yeah, 3-way.
Let's do it.
It's got to be. How can it not be? You know.
Yeah.
I do want to give love to Cemetery Gates, though. I mean, great song, because I can't pick it as a dark horse. It was a single, so
yeah, second single on the album.
Yeah.
Long song, but in my opinion, doesn't really feel as long as it is.
Yeah,
rides really well. But anyway, all right. So, Josad, what do you got for us for your
bottom track? This one, I don't know. This is kind of tough.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a little time because I haven't been able to choose like a bottom track, just because there aren't really songs I hate. Yeah,
they're
I mean, one of you.
That kind of reflects on how the album. They don't really go on too many big detours except for Cemetery Gates, and then when they do, it actually sounds pretty good. Yeah. So when you get to that point where it all kind of sounds relatively similar, like a lot of the, I would probably go with one of the latter half songs, like maybe Message in Blood or Clash with Reality or something like that, but it's not standout enough to be a bad track.
No. I'm along the lines of Tom. I was actually going to say Shattered, and the only reason is because Shattered is the first not standout song.
Right.
And Shattered's the first one where it's like, I if I heard it, I could sing along to it, but tell me right now to sing the riff to Shattered, and I can't think of it. You know what I mean?
I think I went, as you guys were talking, I landed on that. I think I'm going to go with Shattered for mine too. Just because they don't have a riff in that song that's like mesmer, or that is like it sticks in your mind. So I'm going to go with that, Shattered. Yeah.
Yeah. It also doesn't help that it's right after Cemetery Gates and Domination, two are like the better tracks. So
yeah,
that now that it's plus the first half of the album was pretty solid too. But
Sleepy Dark Horse.
Sleepers. I guess I'll start.
Yeah, do it up, Tom.
Sure. I really liked Primal Concrete Sledge. I thought that was granted it's the second track, so I mean in terms of if you've only heard the singles, if you haven't listened to the full album, I think that's probably what I would go with. It was a lot shorter, which I think was beneficial for it. If Primal Concrete Sledge was a 5 or 6 minute song, I don't think it would have been as good. Like it showed its ideas. It was really, really heavy and kind of sludgy in that term. and yeah, it kind of sludgy. And yeah, it was a great vibe to it, and definitely it got me an extra rep at the gym. So
there we go.
Nice. I'm gonna go with Domination. Just an attack.
That wasn't a single. Shit, I thought that was a single.
No,
oh man.
All right, I'll say that too.
Domination.
I'll throw it in there.
Yeah, Domination for sure. Great metal song.
I mean, yeah, that might be close to one of my favorite songs on the album. Honestly.
Agreed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Rate it.
Right. We'll drop a rating.
Michael.
All right. So songs 1 through 6.
Yeah.
That's a 10 out of 10. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
1 through 6 is a 10 out of 10. There is not one thing that misses on those first 6 tracks. Second half, I thought that 11 and 12 could have flip-flopped, and I thought that there could have been a little bit more memorable songs, and if those songs were maybe swapped in with the top half, would have given the album a little bit more. Overall, top to bottom, like Tom said, a little bit of a nostalgic, emotional connection, things like that. I'm going 9 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this
Nice.
album. I mean, I could listen to this I listened to it, I think, more than any other album so far when it comes to prepping for this. Like I just had it on all the time for like the last week. So yeah. 9 out of 10.
Nice. 9 out of 10. Wow. 9 bops. Okay. I'm really struggling putting a number on this. Oh God, I don't know. I need more time. Just like,
all right, I'll go.
All right,
I can go.
go ahead.
All right. Yeah, like Mike said, I didn't really have too much of a connection. Although I will say, "Cowboys from Hell" is one of my favorite. Like, I'll say, I'd probably put it top 100 songs of all time. It's a great thrashy, but also keeps a groove and keeps you into it as well. Like, I could see myself at a concert banging my head to it. But I think it was so funny how we picked 2 different albums back to back that have so many similarities that you don't really see right off the bat.
Mhm.
Like, fantastic starting song, really, really strong like top half of the album, and then the bottom half, you're like, okay, I get where this is going, and they kind of keep the same the vibe going through. So I think I'm probably gonna give it the same rating that I gave Rage, which I think was a 7. I think I gave it a 7 as well. So I'm gonna give this a 7 for all those reasons. But it's, like Mike said, it is a great album. And I do want to get more into Pantera after this. So that is the goal after this.
Next album. Great.
So, right.
Yeah, we'll have to do Vulgar Display of Power, another episode down the road. Yeah. All right. So I had it in mind, and now I feel justified. I'm sitting right in the middle of you guys. I'm giving it an 8. This is the kind of metal I lean towards, where there's screaming but not all the time, there's heavy guitar riffs but not all the time, there's a lot of melodic parts. The drum parts are great. Vinnie Paul's a very underrated drummer, I think, not mentioned a lot, and I like it, but there are some things that I think production wise it kind of is stuck in that time period. You can kind of hear that it was recorded in that time period. But that's not a huge knock, because that's just what the time was. So I'm sitting at 8 bops out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Right.
Very good album. Very good. Thank God they changed their sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling on your Hell or High Mango?
I'm giving it a 6.
Oh, okay.
So I got a 6.9 overall today.
Nice.
Nice.
It didn't taste like beer. It was, it had a mango flavor to it. It tasted like a mango kind of seltzer soda. There was no, not that you need to taste alcohol, but there was zero in it that made me even recognize that I was drinking any sort of alcoholic beverage, beer, anything. It just, I don't know. It was just weird for me. The flavor, the mango flavor wasn't bad. I'm not like a 𝙃𝙚𝙤𝙗𝙚 mango freak.
Mango freak.
You know, but it wasn't like I could drink it, tasted fine. I don't know, I'd go out and buy it again just because it really didn't do much for me. And then, you know, 6 goes really well with my ranking of 9. So
at the end of the day, you know, you got it.
There it is. Okay.
So what'd you guys think?
Listen,
I gave my mango Minute Maid juicing good juice.
we rate all 4 of mine.
Which one do you like the best?
I'm gonna give a collective rating of the brewery.
Yeah.
Listen, I think they're very interesting. I think they have a different style that it's definitely more of West Coast kind of a like a hoppier kind of style. I like their straightforward IPA, the brew free or die. That was the best. I'll probably give that maybe around a 7 or so. Definitely a 7 kind of day. These two, the session IPA and the double were tied. I'll probably give them a 6. And the tropical IPA was kind of gross. It had just like a weird combination of hops that I just did not enjoy.
That sounded good to me.
Probably about a 4 for that.
So hold on. So what were your 4 ratings?
I gave it a 7, 2 6s, and a 4.
That's about a 5 point, maybe 2.
5.75.
5.75. Okay, yeah.
That's good.
So,
I mean,
and I gave it a 6. So they seem to be pretty average of around.
You're right there. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I've tried probably about a quarter of their whole brewery now. So
nice.
Great.
Nice. Shout them out.
Yeah.
We have 21st Amendment Brewing out of California. 21st Amendment on Instagram.
San Leandro, California.
Really like all their beer names. It's cool how they like stick with the historical kind of government theme.
Okay.
And then Pantera, let's see if they're on at all. We've been doing a lot of inactive bands lately. Yeah, they're on Pantera official, blue check and all. Pantera official. And then, you know, check out their discography. Solid metal band for sure.
All right.
Yeah. What are we?
Episode 77, Joe. We can't do it for a 4th. We can't tease it a 4th time in a row.
What, the covers?
We can't tease the covers again.
That's just gonna happen.
We haven't talked to Joey, so we don't have it on the books yet. There's lots of different episodes we have in the works. We just don't know what we're doing yet. Do we just leave it on a cliffhanger?
You'll never know what we're gonna do, or you could just wait a week or 3 days on our Instagram and see the teaser.
The teaser, we will tell you right now that we will be reviewing a beer and an album.
Yes.
Or not. We could be doing songs. It'll be music and beer.
Music. It could be not even beer. It could be a wine. Could be a seltzer.
It could be
music
a
and
cider.
Alcohol. Put it that way.
Although we have done non-alcoholic.
Maybe it'll be spoken word. Maybe it won't be music at all.
It'll be comedy.
Spoken word and water coming up next episode.
That's the Christian version of our podcast. Holy water and hymns.
Next January, we should do a dry January episode.
No, we shouldn't.
Don't drink
Sounds
anything.
awful.
Yeah. Ratings will go way down. Yeah. All right. I guess we're just leaving it on a cliffhanger. We got to hit the conference room and decide what we're doing next. But
next episode, something.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We've been the Hops and Bops podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're on Twitter as well. Hops and Bops. Check out our socials. All the links are there. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. We're on Google Podcasts. Check us out anywhere. Our episodes are everywhere. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. For Mike and Tom, I've been Joe. Peace.